What's up, you guys? We are going to be subtracting this week in math. The last couple of weeks we've been doing adding, which is when we take two numbers, put them together, and it gets a bigger number. But now we're going to do the opposite of that. We're going to subtract using our minus sign to get smaller numbers. Now, again, just like with addition, we use subtraction all the time. If your mom made 12 cookies for dessert and you ate 6 of them, now you have less cookies. If you have 2 socks on your feet and then you lose one of them, have less socks. And so we'll see subtraction all the time, even if it's not just in math lessons, just like with addition. So we are subtracting, which is what this word is, and then this big little guy right here is a minus sign, and that is a symbol that tells us that we are going to be taking away numbers and getting a smaller number. Just like with addition, it has an equal sign in the end as well. And so, for example, if you see something that looks like this, let's say 5 minus 2 equals, right? So we have our first number, which is always going to be a bigger number because we can't take bigger numbers from smaller numbers, but we can take smaller numbers from bigger numbers. So we have 5 minus or take away 2 equals, and then we'll have our answer. And so a lot of you guys are probably familiar with our fingers. It's a really easy way to be able to subtract and figure out what's left. So for this one, 5 minus 2, if I have 5 fingers and I put down 2, what's left? 3. So this would be 5 minus 2 equals 3, right? So that one's a pretty easy one. So subtraction, so we got to kind of reset our mind for this week, right? We've been doing all this adding, getting bigger numbers. Now we got to reset and focus. Okay, now we're going to be taking numbers away, which means our numbers are going to get smaller. So it's a little bit of a shift. So what we're going to be doing over the next few days is like learning some different strategies that are similar to your addition strategies to help you solve. And so we're going to be using 10 frames, number lines, pictures. Sometimes we'll have our fingers. So things that you should be familiar with since we did it last week with addition. Now we're just going to use it with subtraction. So today we're going to be looking at a 10 frame, right? So we know a 10 frame. We are experts at this. I got my 10 frame here, got our 10 boxes. And so the nice thing with subtraction is you are taking, it's a really easy to see what it is that you are taking away. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you how it works with our 10 frame. So let's say I want to do 5 minus 2. We'll keep it simple, right? So I'm going to start with the first number. It's always the biggest number. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 5 dots in our 10 frame. Okay, so this is a dry erase board, so I'm going to actually use my eraser for this one. Now I'm going to take away 2. I'm going to subtract 2. So I'm going to erase 1, 2. And I have left is 3, which is what we read over here. So it takes away and makes you have less that you need to count, which is really helpful. Or if you are, let's say you're drawing a 10 frame on a piece of paper and you don't have a dry erase marker, you also could do this. You could X out to help you visually see that these are being taken away and this is what's left. So again, we now have less dots than we started with. We started with 5. We took 2 away, and now we're left with 3, just like we did here. Okay, let's do another one. And erase that. I'll go ahead and write a new one up here. Let's say we're doing 7 minus 6. All right, so I got my 10 frame here. I'm going to fill in 7 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, and I'm going to take away 6. All right, and I'm going to X out these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many dots are left? There are only 1. So 7 minus 6 gives us 1. So notice, we always start with the biggest number with our subtraction problems. I can't take 7 away from 6. I don't have enough, so I can't do that. But I can take 6 away from 7. When I do that, I'm left with 1. I'm left with what's left over, the remainder. And so with subtraction, again, your number is always going to get smaller. All the time. If it gets bigger, you went the wrong way. So 10 frame, again, a really, really easy way to figure out your subtraction problems. You might see a really easy one like 2 minus 2. Well, that's easy. That's 0. You might not need to use a 10 frame for that. But this is a way for you to be able to see and visually understand what's happening when you're doing your subtraction. And another way that you can do your subtraction, which is really easy, is drawing pictures. If you are doing a subtraction problem and you want to make it a little more exciting and saying, your mom made 3 chocolate chip cookies, right? I can draw 3 chocolate chip cookies. Now, this isn't the best artist. I'm not Miss Nambo, but you get the point. So you have your 3 chocolate chip cookies, and let's say your little brother took 2 of them. I can cross those out, and I'm left with 1. So another way that I can show how I got to my answer, and it helps us sometimes to make sure, I think it's equals 1, but now I can double check by drawing it out like this, right? Or something my friends did last year. Let's say we were talking about, we had 5 poodles and 1 went home. I might not draw 5 poodles, but they would just draw circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it was really easy. And let's say 1 went away, they crossed off like that. So you don't have to get super crazy with your pictures. It can be easy like that, or just dots. But sometimes it's more fun to spice it up and draw actual pictures. So again, we are doing subtracting this week. We are going the opposite way of addition. We are getting smaller. So today you're going to be working with 10 frames and pictures. And then over the next few days, we'll see number lines. You'll see a couple other strategies that we haven't touched yet for subtracting. And so, yeah.